Hey everybody, Mo here, and today I'm bringing you guys another Meta Monday. So this one's going to go kind of quick because not much has changed, and this is kind of a pattern we see in off seasons really, where it feels like, oh, not very much really changes on the top 8 most played. Maybe one deck will kind of pop up to the top or kind of pop up here and there, but for the most part things don't change much, so we're going to go kind of quick today. So this video might not even be 10 minutes long, we'll see. But yeah, we're going to go over the most played decks in the game, and then we're going to go over some of the highest win rate decks in the game, and then I'm going to kind of give you guys an idea of the type of content I'm going to be creating upcoming recently, let you know what type of videos I'm going to be putting out, like what specific decks they're on, stuff like that, so you guys know what to look forward to for the rest of this week. So let's get into it. So the first one is Jhin, still number 1, still doing really well. We see here its worst matchups are going to be Pirates. It's just another aggro deck that can also block. Caitlyn Nora, because it can match their tempo early game. So really what you'll notice here is any deck that can match their early game aggression and block their units, and then either out aggro them down and kill them just in any efficient manner, or gain a bunch of life and stop their units. And that's what all this stuff is, right? So this is like, oh, matches their tempo and then kills them quickly. These two match their tempo and then kill them quickly. This matches their tempo and then just gains a bunch of life. Same thing here. And then these all do the same thing, where they match their early game tempo and then kind of just beat them down with their own, lethal means. So what you're good into is anything that doesn't just play like good 1-drops. Anything that doesn't play a good early game, you're going to smoke. So like Bard Sejuani, you're going to do really well into. And some of you people might be like, Bard Sejuani, why is that on here? But let me tell you, Bard Sejuani is actually really, really good. Yeah, so that's Jhin Annie for you. I would highly recommend you just play like Elite if you want to beat Jhin Annie. Or even the Noxus, like Gwen Quinn's doing really good right now, because you see Gwen Quinn is good into this because you match their tempo, then you out aggro them. Gwen Quinn is good into Jace Lux. Yeah, Gwen Quinn's good into Jace Lux because they can't really deal with all of your threats, because eventually Foyer just turns all of your like 2/1s into good threats also. Gwen Quinn is not very good into elites because they just go bigger than you and then have like single combat, stuff like that. Gwen Quinn's going to be decent into Ryze because you just kill them too hard. Yeah, it's like literally their second worst matchup. So I highly recommend Gwen Quinn. But anyways, that's beside the point. We'll keep going for now. Jace Lux, number 2. I mean, still strong, still doing okay. The win rate's gone up almost a full % since last time, but still not too much. Whole percent's not too bad. Play rate's still gone down. So if a play rate is going down and the win rate is going up, that's pretty good, because that means that because there are less people playing it, there are less people playing it poorly, and the people that are playing it are kind of playing it better, so that's why the win rate goes up. So a lot of times if you see like play rate go down, win rate go up, you mean the deck could be kind of difficult but good. If play rate goes down, win rate goes down, deck's probably just bad. If play rate goes up, win rate goes down, it means that again the deck could be kind of difficult. Not too sure, but if the play rate goes up and the win rate goes up, the deck's kind of like OP, because even with more people playing it, including like bad players, and the win rate is still going up, that means the deck's going to be fairly easy to understand how to play, and very good enough to where if you don't understand how to play it, it still is just going to like carry you. All right, Ryze, sorry, we're gonna skip over elites. Elites is elites. Elites is very good, very solid. Yeah, just in a good spot. It's been in a good spot. Ryze, people have been hated on Ryze more and more lately. That's why Jhin's kind of popped up, super popular. Gwen Quinn's popped up, super popular. Elite has popped up, really popular. So this deck kind of loses to like everything in the top most played. I don't know about Jace Lux. I would assume Jace Lux also beats it. Yeah, Jace Lux like barely beats it. But yeah, so far Ryze literally loses to like everything in the top 8. So that's pretty funny. People really just hate Ryze, man. People really just like. I'm sure 6 also beats it, because actually I wouldn't know. Maybe the stuns kind of mess it up, but because they don't have full removal, yeah, it's like right at 50-50. I think if 6 gets a good hand, they can't stop it. So the fact that Ryze loses to all top 8 most played decks is really funny. Shows you how much people hate Ryze and how hard people are willing to go. Like the different measures people are willing to go to counter Ryze. But yeah, we're halfway done. Jace Heimer number 5. I think this is to beat the aggro decks oftentimes, but I think people are going to realize that it doesn't actually beat a lot of the aggro decks here. So we see like it's still bad into pirates, still bad into pirates, still bad into fearsomes. I think you beat Annie Jhin just because you play like a bunch of removal spells. If you're on the, I assume like the Quietus version that most of these people are on. Yeah, 2 Quietus, 1 Quietus. 2 Quietus. I think I just clicked on that one. And yeah, 2 Quietus. So everyone's on 2 Quietus except for like 1 weirdo. But yeah, so you should be pretty decent into the aggro decks if that's your game plan. Of course, that's not how I build Anti-Gen. Or sorry, that's not how I build Jace Heimer, but if it works, it works. So good for them. You're also beating Kai'Sa Evelynn, which I just don't respect as a deck. But we'll get to that in a moment. But you're still losing to a lot of the aggro decks. So Lurk's actually gone up almost a full % here also. Because I think people are just running into Ryze. You're running into a lot of good matchups. illaoi Twisted Fate has kind of popped up a lot lately. And so you're really good into that deck. You're also obviously really good into Ryze. You're really good into Teemo Caitlyn. You're really good into the Evolution deck. You're good into Kai'Sa Evelynn. So you're good into a lot of the decks that are the top played. Like you're even good into Elite. You've always been good into Demacia mid-range decks. What are you bad into? You're bad into all the aggro decks. Oh, bad into Pirates. Bad into Noxus Control. Bad into aggro. Bad into aggro, bad into aggro, bad into aggro, like, yeah. You're bad into Bard Sejuani because Bard Sejuani just like spits out a bunch of units, and then when it's a stat war, Bard Sejuani typically wins, and makes it to where your Pike isn't even big enough to kill them with the Pike spell, and that makes things really, really, really awkward. Number 7, Kai'Sa Evelynn, gone down in play rate, gone down in win rate. It shows you deck's just bad. It's like barely eking out a 50% win rate now. A lot of people like super stood by this deck. I think it's just not very good. You lose to aggro here, you're losing to mid-range here, you're losing to combo here, you're losing to control here. Like, honestly, I just have no idea what this deck beats. If you're like, look, you're losing to mid-range, you're losing to aggro, you're losing to mid-range, you're losing to control, you're losing to aggro, aggro. You're losing to mid-range, you're losing to control, combo, control, mid-range, control, mid-range. Like, you're losing to mid-range, aggro, and control. I have no idea what this deck is supposed to beat. Its tables like all over the place. So if you want to play it and try it out because it's cool, go for it. Especially since the season doesn't really matter because LP is doesn't matter because it's not going towards anything. But yeah, very interesting. Zigstalia is number 8. Coming at number 8 is going to be the last rounding out our top 8, and it seems to be fine. So you're losing again to all the same things that the Kai'Sa Evelynn deck does. I fully expect this deck to kind of fall out of the meta. I think you just lose to too much. You beat all of the control decks essentially, but I don't think there are enough control decks to really make this worthwhile. And I definitely think Gwen Quinn or Quinn Vayne, how I play it, is a much better deck than Quinn Evelynn. And I think I have, well, not I think, I know I have a Quinn Evelynn deck guide coming out this week that I recorded on stream for you recently. I don't know what day it's going to be coming out though. I can check for you though, real quick. But yeah, I think Gwen is in a very solid spot. And we're going to go over that deck really quickly. Let's see, Tuesday, is it tomorrow? It is not, no, tomorrow is Jhin Annie. Wednesday, I actually have no idea. So let's see here. Mute because I don't want any spoilers. It's not Wednesday either, so it's gonna be like Friday. It's gonna be later towards the week. But yeah, I have a full video coming out on Gwen Quinn, but I will go over my deck list with it and show you guys my success with it. So I've been playing Gwen Quinn Vayne. So I won 4 out of 5 of my matches with the deck. It's pretty funny. I like it. I like playing the Vayne instead of just 3 Quins, and I'll tell you why. It's because when you, so I actually played a lot of this deck and prepped it for Worlds this recent year. So I prepped for Worlds with Prodigy, who's a really good mid-range player, really well known for building decks, one of the best deck builders in the game. And one of the things, and a lot of people were building this like Gwen Vayne deck, this like Boisterous Host, like hallowed package with Vayne. Ideas, you get a bunch of, you get double triggers with Tumble, stuff like that. But we realized that a lot of people thought the deck was bad, but Prodigy built it in a way that nobody else was building it and put a card in that nobody else put in, and it made the entire deck just so disgusting. And that's Silverwing Diver. Because a lot of decks can't really deal with elusive blockers. And fun fact, if you go with Silverwing Diver, let's say you only have like 3 hallowed stacks. Like that's pretty reasonable by turn 4, turn 5, right? You have 3 hallowed stacks. Well, you attack, you hit them for 5 elusive damage. Okay, sure. Well, you tumble him, now you hit him for another 8 elusive damage. That's 13 elusive damage in 1 turn. So if you have not touched them at all over the course of the first 4 turns, 3 to 4 turns, then they're at 7 HP already. That's literally, you just go tumble on the next turn, and then open attack, and they're dead. And you kill them insanely fast. And because of that, it pairs really well with Vayne. I also just don't think Quinn is like the greatest card. I understand why you put Quinn in here, because a scout, you have a chance to level them up. Valor, obviously, Challenger with Hallowed is really good. But I think Vayne just brings so much to the table and can apply so much pressure. In the aggro matchups where you really need to kill quickly, Vayne's good at that. And the control matchups where you just need that extra Hallowed attack with your like Opulent Foyer, with your scout, Green Fang Warden, like it's really good. Like, I really think this is probably the best underplayed deck in the game right now. But play it with like Vayne. Don't play 3 Quinn. I'm playing 1 Quinn just because I understand why it's here and I think it's fine. But I think Vayne is really how you want to go. And I think this is probably the most underrated deck in the entire game. But yeah, so that's my take. That's the deck I think people should be spamming. This and Elites is probably the top 2 decks in IMO. Like if someone was like, oh, you know, ladder all of a sudden matters, you have to climb ladder, I would just load up Quinn Vayne and go to town with this deck right here. But that's gonna be it for this Meta Monday. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll be making a complete beginner's guide to LoR, ultimate beginner's guide to competitive LoR. So if you or anyone you know is interested in that, make sure to have them check out my channel because that'll be coming out soon this week also. And yeah, that's gonna be it. I'll see you guys in the next video.